Hi, today I'm going to be chatting with you about what to do when it feels like you are working harder than your partner in the relationship. Hi, I'm Emma Coble. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Colorado, and I work with feminist women, trauma, and couples who have experienced trauma. So if you're feeling this way, that you're putting in more effort into the relationship than your partner, I'm here to tell you that I think everyone I have ever met or worked with at some point may have felt this way in their relationship. So if you're experiencing this, you're not alone. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't necessarily even mean your partner is doing something wrong. And it's something to pay attention to and see what's going on for you. There are also, I want to say, seasons to this. So there are times when one person tends to do more of the heavy lifting in the relationship and times where maybe another person picks things up again. But if it's feeling off balance, in a lot of ways, this video is going to be for you. So the first thing I want to say about this is to look at what it actually means to be doing more and to notice the fact that partners often contribute to relationships in different ways. So oftentimes women have been tasked with and done a lot of emotional labor in relationships. And men have been very much discouraged from being vulnerable and doing a lot of emotional relationships. That's not to say there aren't men who don't do a ton of emotional labor in their relationships, but that's historically often been the way it's been. Additionally, men have oftentimes done a lot of acts of service, a lot of bookkeeping, a lot of taking care of certain tasks. And this has been something that has been socially conditioned. So just noticing, like, are there ways that your partner might be, and it might not have anything to do with those categories. There are so many ways that we put effort into relationships, but are there ways that your partner is putting in effort and is showing up that you're maybe not noticing here or not valuing as much? What are the ways that you're putting in effort and what are the ways that they're putting in the effort? What would they say are the ways that they are putting in effort or showing up for the relationship? It's important to note too that we all have different love languages as well, and we'll talk more about that as we get into this, but it might feel like you're really pushing for, quality time or emotional connection, and your partner is, helping you with taxes or ordering, window coverings or something for the house, and it feels like they're not as invested emotionally in the relationship, but they may be thinking of those things as ways to show up for the relationship and for you. So just something to kind of think about as we start to go into this. So we started to touch on this, but what are the reasons that a relationship effort might feel unequal? So as we were just saying, we come from different backgrounds. We all have different models of love. So for instance, in my family, words of affirmation were a huge way that we expressed love to one another. For many people, the way that they got love was maybe through money or through gifts. For some people, it looked like, just showing up and a family member maybe cooking for them or doing things for them. So we all were given and love in different ways and taught to express love in different ways, and we all receive love in different ways. So it's important to remember that as you're thinking about you and your partner. We also all have different traumas that we carry with us and different attachment styles and patterns. So someone who is maybe more anxious might be looking sometimes for more of a trying to constantly kind of like secure that emotional connection with their partner, whereas someone who is maybe more avoidant will be less inclined to be emotionally trying to, constantly be vulnerable or connect with their partner as much in that kind of way, and maybe showing up and showing, giving effort sort of in a different way. And that's not to say that that can't change or can't be healed, but that can come from early childhood experiences, from caregivers who were either inconsistent or potentially not available at all. It can also come again from social conditioning. Also, stress and external pressures can add to this. So if one or both partners has had a lot of stress, a lot going on lately, they might not be able to contribute as much emotionally or physically or in whatever way to the relationship. And there are, again, seasons that we all go through where we are more or less available for our partners. Sometimes we're holding our partner to sort of unspoken expectations. We're not sharing with them what would be helpful for us or what we really want. And they don't know what we want or how we want to receive love. And sometimes this can lead us to feel unseen, unappreciated. And sometimes being able to express what we want and what we need can actually do a lot to change things. Also, sometimes one or both of you might be experiencing like some relationship burnout, where maybe you feel like you've been putting in a lot in one way and you're not getting much back, and so you kind of step back or pull back. This can be totally common as well. So how do you navigate this? What do you do if you feel like you are doing more in the relationship in one area or in all these areas? So first of all, I would say get clear on what it is you're feeling and what it is you're needing, because clarity and specificity are going to be ways, and having kind of like a plan for what you're wanting and needing are going to be ways that your partner is going to be able to hear you better. So really take some time to reflect. What is it exactly that has been feeling unbalanced for you? Is it that you feel like you're doing more of the emotional labor? Is it more of the practical, household chores or something like that, the day-to-day stuff? Is it conflict resolution? So get specific so you feel like you can express your feelings better. And then when you do communicate, and communication is important here, make sure not to say something like, I always do everything in this relationship, or you do nothing. So try something where you're being specific and you're speaking about your feelings, So maybe saying something like, I feel like I've been putting in a lot of effort to XYZ, spend quality time together, whatever it is. And I've been feeling sort of alone. And a story I'm telling myself is that I'm not important, or that this doesn't matter as much to you. Can we talk about this? So again, not putting the accusation or the blame on them for not trying to spend quality time together or whatever, but rather sharing how you're feeling, the story you've been telling yourself, and trying to understand their perspective or where they're coming from. And also maybe just having a general conversation about what effort looks like, what feels good for both of us in this relationship, maybe at a time you're not triggered. So also recognizing and appreciating their effort. Every person on this planet wants to be appreciated and recognized and seen. So in this conversation, and just for yourself, recognizing the ways that they are showing up and adding to the relationship, contributing, showing their love, reminding yourself what that looks like, and also expressing that you see those things as well. Next would be, discussing what you want moving forward, thinking about what it would look like to get that need met, and then talking about that with them. So if you do need help with this, couples therapy can help, and you're not wrong for wanting more, and it is possible to be in a relationship where you feel like it might not be tit for tat even, but it generally feels like a good give and take. So if you do need help, reach out if you're in Colorado for couples therapy, and if you're in another state, there's so many great couples therapists out there. So thanks again.